everybody, it's Margot here at My Favorite Quilt Store, and I'm going to make the Red Queen quilt block. This is the block, and what we want to make sure when we're making this block is that the queen is facing upward and facing the right way. So she's always going to be in the bottom right hand corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to so I've got my block laid out here. I've got the two cats as the mediums and the suits fabric as my light. So I've got my dark, my medium, and my light. So the light's going to be in the opposite corner from the dark to make this quilt. So you want to make sure that you get all of your directional fabrics going the right direction. I'm going to show you this one right here. So I made sure all of these were going facing upwards, and all of the tea cups faced this direction, and all the queens faced up. So when I made this particular quilt, I did make sure that everything was facing the right direction. So this is a non-directional print that you can't get everything facing up. This one I want to go up and down, so I'll make sure all of them the stripes go up and down, the color range goes from side to side, and that the queen is facing upward. So to do this, if you just put this on top of this and sew here on this side, it's not correct. So you want to make sure that the queen is on top when you sew her. So you got to have the back of the queen, you put right sides together of the fabric. I've got my 1/4 inch foot on my machine. I'm using a 50 weight cotton thread to do my piecing, and I'm getting my block to be sitting one on top of the other so that they're completely on top of one another. I've got my threads going to the back. I'm lowering my presser foot, and I'm going to sew down the seam of this. Right at a 1/4 inch. And I make sure everything's lined up as I'm going down. If you need to put a pin or two in here, you can. I feel like it's a very short length, so I don't have to. You could also set all of these up and chain piece them. I did that 4 at a time on the last time I made this block for the quilt behind me. So again, now we're going to put the cat on top, right sides together. Line it all up. Again, using a 1/4 inch seam allowance with this 1/4 seam foot. Sew that one down. So now, so that I can nest the seams, I'm going to press them both to the medium side fabric, which is a cat fabric. That's the medium fabric. So I'm going to lay it down on my ironing board, press towards the yellow or the cat, the medium fabric. Gosh, my iron doesn't seem too hot right now. So I've got the first one done. Now I'm going to take my queen, press towards the yellow fabric, on the back side of the fabric, get my seam pressed down. This will have some great nested seams when I'm done here. So now I want to make sure that I sewed the block correctly. So I'm going to lay it back out on the table and look at it one last time before I sew these together. And I've got my light on the left, my dark on the right, and so I'm ready to sew them together. So I flip my blocks down on top of each other. I'm going to nest those seams and butt them right up together and get them nice and tight in there. So what I do is I just kind of wiggle them back and forth with my fingers until they're tight in there. I'm going to take my forked pin. This is the type of pin I like to use when I'm doing patchwork quilting so that I can get the seams exactly perfect. I'm going to put that on both sides of my sewing line so I've got it nested in there correctly. So this one is a little longer. You can match this up, put a pin in it so that you don't have as far to go before that you have to sew so you can keep it straight. And let's see, we got this side. Here we go. I'm going to put a pin in it right there. Oh, let me get it perfectly matched up. Got that to happen right there. I'm going to put a pin in it. And then I'm gonna put it back on the sewing machine with my 1/4 inch foot. I'm gonna sew a 1/4 inch seam. I leave the pins in when I'm getting close, and then before it gets under the foot, I pull it out. The only one I leave in the whole time I'm quilting is this one, and go very slow over it. So I'm getting close, so I'm gonna slow down, make sure that it's going through just fine. And if it doesn't go through fine, you will know, because you'll either break the pin or your needle that you're sewing with. Then you can pick up speed till you get close to the next pin, take it out, and continue sewing on. And I got to the end of that, I'm done. I left my presser foot, pull this out, and all I have to do is remove this pin. I take it over to the pressing board. I like to sit with my iron to my right, and my cutting mat and my table to the left, so that I can make myself a round circle. I also use a chair that swivels, so that I can swivel around. A lot of times though, if I sit too long, I can only let myself sit for only a short amount of time, or a couple hours at a time, because I'll get too stiff if I don't. So I do have to get up. Sometimes it's nice, if you're chain piecing, to go to the ironing board and walk over there and iron everything at one time. So here is the block for the Red Queen. We're gonna make 29 more of these, and you're gonna see the quilt like the one behind you. So we think that this is a fun quilt to make. It's easy to make these blocks. Again, you can see I nested these seams so that my corner turned out perfectly in the center right here, so that you can now make another block, and you'll be able to sew them right together when you're done with this. So anyway, we hope that you're able to figure out this block, and if you need any help, just let us know. But it's a lot of fun to make, and happy sewing. Have a great day.